In the year 2000, the future is here, featuring robots, aliens, quantum matter, and alarming quests.
Defeat the T-Rex!
In a recent video, I completed 100% of Stacklands, but then the Stacklands dev emailed me and said, actually, we're adding an entire new world to our game. You've only completed 72%. And so I said, bro, why must you troll me like this? But then I said, heck yes, because I do love a good industrial revolution. So let's find 191 more cards. Welcome to 100% of Stacklands 2000.
192 more cards? Who done this? Place a villager on top of this card to start the industrial revolution.
And so I time traveled into the far distant future, the year 2000.
Welcome to the city. Open your first cities pack. Worker, gravel deposit, lumber deposit, trash, rain. $20? Hi there and welcome to the modern city. I am the city advisor. Nice nose. I'll come by every once in a while to help you manage your city. Good luck.
I began by placing one of my workers on trash cleanup duty and the other straight up sat on top of the rain. When their jobs were done, I unlocked the precious resources pack, and apparently I found muesli in the trash. I next had my dudes collect gravel and lumber from these deposits.
I mean, I got $20. Let's go for precious resources.
I sold a bit of lumber and gravel and purchased my first pack, which gave me the shack idea.
1 cement, 1 lumber, 1 worker. How do I make cement? Gravel and water? Yeah.
Once the cement was ready, I stacked it onto some lumber and had a worker begin building a shack. I got a second shack building too.
Okay, we got a shack. Barely livable. Currently has 1 space.
It says there that if the shack is unable to consume 4 food at the end of moon, the consequence would be -2 well-being. And every moon a worker didn't have housing available would be -1. I found these tooltips extremely confusing at first.
Wait, what?
I thought it was saying they did not have housing currently.
You do have housing. Why does it say he doesn't have housing?
I chose to ignore my confusion and sold some metal scrap and gravel to buy another pack.
Oh, not another worker. What the heck? I don't think I need an extra shack, so I'm just gonna sell that. Don't give me another worker though. Idea farmland.
I continued selling and cycling through packs, trying to get my head around things.
Idea recruiting. Place 20 money on a shack to recruit a worker. Oh, I'm not gonna have enough food, dude. Okay, I got more muesli. Wait, where did I get the muesli from?
Soon, Moon 1 came to an end.
City well-being is not great. My happiness stayed the same. The first moon has passed and the city's well-being has been updated. Your goal is to increase the city's well-being. Don't let it get too low or you will lose the city. Okay, 2 lumber, 1 gravel. Build a farmland. The cement sells for 30, I think. So let's just make cement. Farmland. Gives grain when harvested. Oh, I can just... Wait, what the hell? My worker just disappeared into the farmland. I love that. I respect that. I'm gonna sell all of that cement. What do I do with grain? Basic ingredient for food. Idea, factory parts. Gravel and metal scraps. I think we're moving. Grain and water. What do I do with the grain?
I whacked some gravel on some metal scraps and soon had my first factory parts, and I got the idea for a hamster wheel.
Generates energy using labor.
I got one of those building, I made sure to take out the trash, and the fella that had disappeared into the farmland was doing great work harvesting grain.
What do I need energy for? I have no idea.
I did not need energy for anything at this point, so that worker was running and sweating for absolutely no reason.
I think I just sell the factory parts for now. Let's be aggressive on the selling, I think. Rumor, extraction. Combine a deposit, factory parts, and a worker. For example, doing this with a lumber deposit will make a tree plantation. Oh. Put factory parts on the gravel deposit. We got a gravel pit, an infinite source of gravel. Hey, okay, that's cool. Let's try to get other types of deposits. Heaps of grain. Landmark, city park, outdoor pleasantries. Oh yeah, more factory parts. Chuck that on the lumber deposit. Okay, we're moving, bro. Moon 3 and we're all over this. Tree plantation, gravel pit. They've updated it so your worker is like in there. I like that. I don't know what this is doing, by the way. I've got a guy in there generating energy, and I swear it's achieving absolutely nothing. So I'm going to take him out of there for now.
So I now had an unlimited source of both gravel and lumber. And so far, I hadn't managed to gain any city well-being, but I hadn't lost any either. And suddenly, wild weather. But before the weather report, let me conquer the high seas. Big thanks to World of Warships for sponsoring the video. In World of Warships, you engage in tactical naval battles to assert your dominance over the seas. As well as historically accurate vessels, the game also features some glorious fictional crossovers. For example, I tried out some of the Star Trek shenanigans that have recently been added to the game.
What is my ship? Look at this thing.
This collaboration spans time and space, as faction leaders from across the galaxy have been mysteriously transported to Earth to command ships of a bygone era.
Oh yeah, give me Picard. Hell yeah.
Before the battle, I would like to have some tea. Earl Grey, hot.
I played as Picard, captaining this glorious Enterprise aircraft carrier, and I may have crashed into my teammate.
Why did my... Why is this guy running into me?
Star Trek themed game modes and customizations are now available, and new players can choose between 4 Star Trek commanders. World of Warships is available free to play on consoles as well as PC. Click the link below to register for the game, and make use of an invite code to unlock your commander of choice along with a bunch of other rewards. Alright friends, back to Stacklands 2000.
City news, there will be changing weather conditions. Oh gosh.
It appeared the sunshine was going to provide well-being to my citizens, and the lightning
Can smelt ores instantly. What?
I'd amassed 4 lumber, so I stacked a worker on there to build a city park, and when that was done, a new pack unlocked.
Modern Solutions pack now available.
I found a credit card in the trash, which was a glorious find this early as it conveniently held all my cash. I found some other plastic too.
Will be everywhere before you know it.
I decided to sell it because $50 is a good chunk of change, and that afforded me my first Modern Solutions pack in which I found the ideas for City Hall and apartments. I began making cement with which to build an apartment building, and when the moon ended I gained 4 well-being, 1 for each dose of sunshine, and 2 for introducing a city park to the neighborhood.
I've still got lightning available. So random.
I soon had 3 cement stacked, and so a new building was built.
We got an apartment. Oh crap, it needs electricity. Has a chance of creating poop when not connected to the sewers. How do I make a sewer?
So I'd gotten a little more than I'd bargained for upon building this, but I thought I spied a solution to the demand for electricity.
Can I link these? How do I link them?
It did indeed look like I should be able to link the power-producing hamster wheel to the power-demanding apartment building, but I could not figure out how to do this, so I just placed them next to each other and hoped.
It's producing poop spontaneously. Oh no. Okay, sell this. Get away, poop. I got ahead of myself there, I think.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that stinky poop, I just straight up sold the apartment building. Clearly, that was too complicated for me.
I lost 2 happiness. Oh, because there's poop. No! Poop of unhappiness. That's sad. Idea muesli, factory, and grain. How do I make a factory?
I had lots of questions and not many answers, but I did get the idea for a septic tank, and from the next Modern Solutions pack I bought, the ideas for a water wheel and food warehouse.
Alright, this is getting overwhelming pretty fast.
You may have noticed I have barely mentioned food, and this random bit of muesli I found in the trash had somehow still not been eaten. In the base game of Stacklands, food is a constant pressure point, but my one dude in the farmland, slowly producing grain, was easily staying on top of my food needs here in the year 2000. I'll explain this a little more when in-game Floydson figures out what the hell is going on. I found the factory idea, so I made one out of 2 factory parts.
How do I make the factory work? It looks like I should be able to like connect them somehow.
Yeah, once again, clearly I was missing something with the power.
I'm very confused.
Even though I had plenty of food, I made another farmland. Who knows what I was thinking?
Uh-oh, changing. Oh, that's not good. That is not good. We got a disaster. Good luck. Okay, sunshine, great. Wind.
And a drought. So things are about to get real dry.
Drought has hit the city. Farmlands will stop functioning until you give them 3 water. Go to precious resources, find some water please. Okay, good.
I placed factory parts on the water deposit, which made a water pump, and I now had an unlimited water source. With it, I was able to water the parched farmlands. I made more factory parts, sold them for $50 each, and soon I had the ideas for a wind turbine, art gallery, and barracks.
Produces vehicles. Soldiers and vehicles.
I combined the wind I'd received from a weather event with some factory parts, and I soon had a wind turbine, a source of free energy.
Am I like, what am I doing here?
If only I knew how to connect the wires. I made a storage container out of 2 lumber and 1 metal scrap. These store cards of 1 type and reduce all the stored cards down to just 1 card total. This was glorious because there's a card cap, meaning you can only have a certain number of cards at a time, and this made that much less of a nuisance. I had a look through my quests.
Connect an energy cable. How? I can't make the Dubawacky connect. I found it. Oh, this is the energy view? Oh my gosh. Energy view, poop view, transport view. Okay. Transport view, normal view, energy view, poop view. We got it. Press V. I finally figured it out. Okay, so this is powered up now.
Yeah, I just needed to press V to change views, which allowed me to control the various logistics of my city. I whacked a fella into the factory, and finally, I was turning grain into muesli.
I've got a septic tank now. I got poop storage. Let's try and make an apartment again. 3 cement. Okay. Just in, there will be not an earthquake. Oh dear. Some structures were damaged. No, not my hamster wheel. Can't be repaired with money. How is it repaired? Oh, can be repaired with money.
Money fixes everything. I didn't want to fork out the cash to fix the hamster wheel though, so I sold it for full price even though it was broken. My newfound ability to connect wires and the presence of a poop tank provided me all the confidence I needed to make another apartment. I got its plumbing sorted.
So it's not going to produce poop, but I do need to get it power. Maybe I shouldn't have sold my thingo.
I bought a couple of packs looking for metal scraps, with which I made another hamster wheel.
Alright, we got a little bit of happiness from the sunshine. That's good. Switch to this view. Get a worker in there. Okay, so this apartment is now functional.
With power and plumbing, the apartment was indeed ready to house 5 workers. And since the shack housed 3, my new cap was 8. A rumor card earlier had told me you can get more workers by placing $20 on a dwelling. And so I lured out a new worker by placing a crisp 20 on the shack. Alright, let me explain the food because in-game Floydson is too slow. It's not that complicated, it's just not what I had been expecting. You need 4 food at the end of every moon for each dwelling you have. So at this point, I needed 4 food for the shack, which houses 3 workers, and 4 food for the apartment, which houses 5 workers. So it's not tied to how many workers you have at all, it's tied to how many houses you have. And you can see why getting bigger dwellings is very food efficient. I continued getting organized with more storage containers and a food warehouse too.
Does this reduce my card cap down as well? It does. Hell yeah.
I had 2 farmlands cranking, but grain was piling up. So I took 1 worker out and resumed work at the gravel pit and tree plantation.
If I stretch this really far away, will it go along the road? It does go along the road. I love it.
I needed $10 to make a city hall, so I bought a pack to get $10 change. However, that made trash appear at a most inconvenient time.
How come I lost to happiness? Oh, because there was trash? Oh, more wind? Hell yeah. Festival?
Soon the city hall was done.
Increases card cap by 2 when you give $10 to it. Can be used to rename workers.
I'd sold my shack because I was still confused about how food works, so I was stuck with 5 workers who were stretched kind of thin. But I managed to harness that wind, securing some more electricity.
Wind turbine onto this, so it's like permanent. This is amazing. This is such a sick update. I'll put the hamster wheel into City Hall. Okay, we get +1 happiness for City Hall, that's good. Your workers are loving the festival. We got merch? What the hell? At the end of the moon, that's 2 happiness, or I can sell it for $100. I think I just let the happiness build up, right?
With City Hall now available to legally change people's names, it was time for some important work to be done.
This is definitely Peon. This is Larrikin. This is Sooty, because he's in the factory. Get in there, Sooty. Back to work. I mean, you're in a grain factory, actually, so you're probably not that sooty, but whatever. Dry knees. I don't know why. It can be Harry Harold. I don't know why. Dry knees. Go back to work in the... Where's Harry Harold gonna work? I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, well, let's do more quests.
I bought a pack and began harvesting items to sell so I could buy more packs, and I finally figured it out.
Oh, I don't need food per villager. I'm used to 2 food per villager from all the other Stacklands worlds, but this, you just need 4 food per home.
That is correct, you big goose. I wasn't sure how to get metal scraps reliably, so I just had to buy packs and hope I pulled some.
Oh no, not 2 trash right at the end of the day. I'm so dumb. Why did I open those right at the end of the day? I got a -1 for City Hall because it wasn't powered up. Oh, for goodness sake.
Thankfully, that merch had countered some of the well-being loss. I put Peon back in that hamster wheel. I guess this is just your life now, Peon. I mean, you are a peon, so fair enough. And I at least found some metal scraps in the trash. Now that I finally understood how food worked, I realized I wasn't as limited as I thought, and I began preparing to scale up.
Oh, I got more wild weather. Wildfire.
The wildfire is easy to deal with. I just plopped the water I'd stored up to calm the flames. And in preparation for another apartment, I made a water wheel.
I finally got a new pack available. The water wheel. Oh, it outputs 3?
It needs a constant supply of water to operate though, so I moved my water pump over and connected a road.
Does it make water fast enough? I think it does. It's like the exact same speed.
I made a replacement water pump because I still wanted water stored up to be used on demand, and I made a second apartment, which I was actually over prepared for.
Oh, I only need the 1 septic tank. I just realized. Holy crap. I'm just going to sell this for now then. I'll make another one. So we got 1 water pump manned by dry knees going into a water wheel, which is powering 2 apartments, and it can power 1 more. The septic tank is enough for 3 apartments too.
I began paying for more workers, which unlocked a new card pack. And I now had enough workers to consistently collect from 2 gravel pits, a tree plantation, and a water pump. So I began making cement to sell. I soon bought my first major metals pack, and found the ideas for industrial smelters and metal scraps, and some copper too.
I love the automation. It's so neat. It's so neat. Wait, I can smelt the ore with lightning, right? Go lightning. Boom! Copper bar.
I continued with the cement money-making scheme, and I soon had more intriguing ideas.
Okay, landfill. Removes pollution from the city. Energy combiner. Combines 3 low voltage and turns it into 1 high voltage.
At the end of Moon 23, a UFO arrived.
Maybe I can figure out some of its technology?
I'd paid City Hall a few times to increase my card cap and board size, by the way, and I hired a couple more workers.
This can be tin foil, and tin foil is going to investigate the crashed UFO, and we might end up with an alien fighting us.
Please welcome Muscles too. I placed him on here to make an iron mine out of this iron deposit I'd found. Meanwhile, some science popped out of the crashed UFO.
Oh, the iron mine needs energy. Okay, gotcha. Let's put the wind turbine on the iron mine. The water wheel can take care of the factory. Okay, that's 5 low voltage connectors.
I made a 10th worker, who I named
Boris.
And soon my first chunk of iron ore popped out of my iron mine. But I was already a little overwhelmed, and when I spotted this quest, it didn't help my stress levels.
Drill for oil. Goodness gracious me.
I returned to cement profiteering in order to track down yet more new ideas.
Burner generator. Burns lumber to generate energy. Interesting. Oh, luxury apartment. Filter junction.
Iron ore began to pile up, so I whacked it in a storage container, but I had no way to refine it into iron bars, so I began building a smelter out of factory parts and metal scrap.
Okay, we got an industrial smelter. It needs 2 power sources.
I rearranged everything so that the iron mine was transporting its ore straight onto the smelter, and I made another water wheel, so I yoinked my replacement water pump and got that chugging to provide power to the mining operation. When I placed tin foil to work in the smelter, I discovered it needed 2 people working in it, so I took Peon out of this gravel pit and placed him in there. Then I realized I hadn't done the power properly, so I pulled the 3rd low voltage output from the water wheel, and finally the operation was up and running. I paid City Hall for some more space, and I soon discovered the industrial smelter brought another complication.
Oh, we're producing pollution now? Okay.
I needed metal scraps to make a landfill, and lucky for me, the iron bar I'd just made was able to provide.
Oh, I get 3 metal scraps from that? Okay, now we got metal scrap for days. Finally.
Yes indeed, 1 iron bar can be broken down to 3 metal scraps. My landfill wasn't ready in time for the end of the moon though, but thankfully it seemed the pollution hadn't piled up enough to cause a well-being deficit yet. Also,
financial crisis.
This just meant packs would double the price for a while, which was no big deal. The landfill was soon ready, so I popped the pollution in there. It requires an output for its waste, so I connected it to this septic tank for now, and when the next iron bar was done, the pollution byproduct was sucked straight into the landfill. And the landfill periodically chewed up the pollution, and as long as it didn't fill up with more than 10 pollution, I would not suffer any hits to my well-being. I made an art gallery out of lumber and metal scraps.
Converts 50 money into an artwork.
I whacked $50 on there to see what that was all about.
Is my landfill under control here?
The iron operation appeared to be working. Very nice.
I think it is.
And the artwork I commissioned at the gallery was set to provide 1 well-being. Not too bad. And with a constant stream of iron bars being produced, metal scraps were piling up too. So I turned some of those into factory parts, which I sold, and since the financial crisis had passed, it was time for more packs.
Villager statue. Remembering the old times of villages and berry bushes. True. Bread 2000. Bread reinvented. Factory, grain, and water.
The art gallery's introduction to the city earned me 2 well-being, so that, combined with the one from the artwork, pushed my overall well-being up to 22. But having slightly more well-off citizens came at a price.
Higher well-being will cause goblins to attack. What? What the hell are you talking about? I need a barracks. 2 cement, 1 iron bar.
I'd found the barracks idea a while back, but since it seemed pretty peaceful, I hadn't bothered with a military. But now it was time to get Lord Balls to build one.
Military building that turns workers into soldiers and produces vehicles. Lord Balls, you can become a soldier?
And so the glorious war machine began chugging. Lord Balls had his identity stripped. He was now nothing but a soldier, and he was unable to work. He was just gonna chill until violence showed up, I guess.
I can't name my soldier? The nameless soldiers. It's so sad.
The soldier obviously still used up a spot in my housing, so now I was down to 9 workers, which was a bit rough. I made bread 2000 out of grain and water, and it was produced way faster than the muesli, so I whacked a bunch of water on the factory to let that pile up.
I've just got so many things to automate. It's out of control. All right, I need to scale up for sure.
Some wind had shown up at some point, so I made another wind turbine, which I put here to power the food factory, which freed up a slot at the water wheel, which allowed me to power up a 3rd apartment. Except I forgot about poop.
Septic tank. Okay, everything you make creates more problems.
Sadly, some poop slipped out before I got my new septic tank connected. But with a 3rd apartment up, I was able to begin hiring more workers. And then at the end of Moon, I somehow lost an outrageous amount of well-being.
Wait, what? I lost 11? How the hell? Doesn't have housing. These ran out of electricity somehow?
In my rearranging, I'd accidentally disconnected the road from the water pump to the water wheel. So the water hadn't gotten onto the wheel, and therefore the apartments had no power and were out of commission. It was an easy fix, but I'd lost literally half of my well-being. not good. I welcomed Derek and Hero to the workforce.
Okay, I'm stressing out, dude. I'm stressing out. Got so many iron bars.
They sold for 40 a pop, so I got selling. And there was a pack sale on, so I was able to buy some goodies for half price.
We need to farm some happiness back.
I figured some artworks would help with that, and I soon hired 3 more workers, which completed a quest unlocking the black gold pack.
Leroy, Dingle Dongle, Roger. You need to put you here so we make lots of bread.
I got the second farmland producing with the help of Roger too, and now Bread 2000 was fully automated. And I bought another major metals pack.
Landmark Cinema. It's just really tricky to scale, right? Because as soon as you try and make a building, you're gonna need power, and that's gonna use up your workers.
Yeah, I was having a whinge when I really should have just gotten to work. I discovered all the cards in major metals, so I moved on to buying Department of Defense.
Tank? Holy crap.
I made a 3rd gravel deposit because gravel came in flaming slowly. I continued shoving money into City Hall to grow my board every now and then, and I soon made a burner generator.
Output's 5. That's pretty juicy.
The next Department of Defense pack I opened gave me an even crazier idea. The robot station.
Wait, houses robot workers?
I made another tree plantation, which I connected to the burner generator. I gained 3 well-being thanks to some sunshine and an artwork, and I made a copper mine too. I thought I was making great progress.
Okay, wait, I need another smelter though. Oh my gosh. Wait, can I just get it going on the same smelter? I guess I can.
I moved the burner generator up next to the mine to replace the water wheel with its superior number of outputs.
So we got 1 burner generator powering the entire mining operation.
And that meant I now had a spare water wheel ready to go. I rearranged a little and got a storage container ready to hold the copper bars.
Oh, I can only have 1 output though. How? Oh, I need a junction. That's what we need. We need a junction. Oh, you can see little cars going on the road. What? Okay, we got a junction. Talk to me about the junction.
I set it up over at the mine.
So it should shoot out copper bars and iron bars from the 1 smelter.
And the smelter refines ore faster than the mines produce it, so this was a pretty efficient setup. Except the junction did not appear to be working.
Oh, maybe it needs to be a filter one?
So I made a filter junction, and popping an iron bar on there made it an iron bar junction. This means it will output iron bars from its top output, and anything else from its bottom one. It appeared to be working. I noticed my landfill was almost getting over full. This was because the burner generator was creating pollution too, so I placed down another landfill and connected it to a septic tank with a cross map pipe. I found the idea for a sniper in a Department of Defense pack, and I placed 2 copper bars onto an apartment to make a luxury apartment. I was pleased to discover it needed the same amount of power and poop output as a normal apartment, so it was immediately functional, offering 8 housing spots instead of 5.
Boom. This is where we can like scale up finally. I can just stack these guys. Okay, that's pretty neat. That's a neat living arrangement, and I can have 9 more dudes now.
And since I still had just 3 housing buildings, the same amount of food was required. I placed 3 iron bars on the barracks to begin building a tank.
It's kind of slow though.
I began hiring some new workers.
Barry, Gary, Desmond, Angry Sue.
And I soon completed an energy combiner made of metal scraps and cement. It combines 3 low voltage outputs into 1 high voltage output.
I don't know when I'm going to need that, but something's going to need high voltage soon. 3 cement, 5 iron bar. We got a cinema cooking. We got a villager statue cooking. Okay, we got a tank. Hell yeah. Oh, it needs housing?
Yes, indeed. Someone has to drive the tank, I guess. And I hadn't seen any of the promised goblins yet, but I decided to upgrade my soldier to a sniper regardless. The cinema and villager statue were soon done. The statue was set to provide a couple of well-being, but the cinema needed some of its logistical concerns attended to, including high voltage power.
3 power to the energy combiner and then output the power we need there.
I moved the whole operation and got the sewers connected too.
Because a lot of people poop at the cinema, that's true. That is true. I think this gets me happiness every day. It's going to get me 2 every day, I think. I got a sniper to go with my tank now. My army is huge, clearly.
At the end of Moon 38, it was a good time.
I gained 5 happiness. I'm rich. I'm rich in joy.
And the cinema was indeed now automated to provide a solid 2 well-being per moon ongoing. I made a robot station, which houses 10 robot workers.
This is Aragorn. Here's Gimli. Legolas, what do your elf eyes see?
I was confused about the robot station, just a little.
It says I can fit 10 more workers, but like this is for robot workers, right?
But I had the Middle-earth trio get it all set up with power regardless, so it was officially up and running, and I thought it might help me make robot workers. Weather conditions continued harassing me every few moons.
Festival.
And festivals are definitely my favorite weather condition.
Do I not need any of this crap anymore? Is that what's going on here? Because if that's the case, that is extremely overpowered. Yeah, because it means I don't need any food. Legolas! Explain this to me.
Robots do not need food, this is true. But I eventually gave up because I was so confused about robots, and I instead began selling stuff and buying more packs, which helped me find the electric motor and transmission tower ideas. As my board slowly expanded, I did some rearranging, and I eventually tried placing money on the robot station, but it just pooped out a regular old worker, not a robot worker.
You can be called confused because I'm confused.
By this point, I had 3 gravel pits manned full time, and I added a second tree plantation and water pump into which I placed some spare workers. And I made a couple more workers because I was still confused. The robot station had added to the total number of workers I was able to have, but it wasn't clearly distinguishing between robot workers and human workers.
What?
As a result, I'd made more human workers than I had space for, so I named this guy Homeless.
Now, because that all went pear-shaped, I've got to make another apartment building? Is that what you're telling me?
I got to work and stole the power from the confusing robot station. Soon, another apartment was fully functional. I now had plenty of gravel, lumber, and water production automated, along with a decent flow of iron and copper bars, so I began selling some of that stuff off, leading to a new pack unlock, my first drops of oil, and a bunch of new ideas.
Idea warship keeps the fish safe.
I completed this setup over on the left.
So I got 3 guys in water pumps, Aragorn, Leroy, and Homeless are in the water pumps. We got confused, angry Sue, and Barry in the tree plantations. We got Gary, Harry, Harold, and Boris in the gravel pits.
As you can tell, I thought my worker naming efforts were absolutely hilarious.
We go, what? Making metal scraps.
I made another landfill to go with a second industrial smelter and iron mine, and I pulled spare electricity from halfway across the universe to power some of this up. And with that, my iron bar production ramped up to the next level. I kept hiring workers and giving them epic names, and when I bought another Department of Defense pack, I finally got the idea that solved my robot confusion.
Robot, here we go. Robot worker, okay.
These are made in a factory, and honestly, I was intimidated by the idea of scaling up to get the electricity to run more factories. And also, complicated things like oil production was on the horizon, so I decided to go on a rampage buying packs, because I figured if I unlocked as many ideas as possible, the smartest way to proceed would become clearer. I got a bunch of new ideas. Military stuff, oil-related stuff, a theme park, and I found something exciting in the trash too.
Toy. I found a toy.
I continued buying cards, and soon the black gold pack seemed to stop giving me new ideas, though I did find my first electric motor. I also found the stadium idea.
I haven't been attacked yet. Am I supposed to have been attacked?
And I guess because I said that, the goblins decided it was time.
Oh, the goblins finally decided to attack me.
I quickly turned Turkey into a soldier in preparation.
Got a soldier and a sniper and a tank. Is this gonna be enough?
Yeah, the goblins only sent 1 piddly commando, so my little army was indeed enough.
Epic combat going on over here.
This pathetic goblin attack made me feel better about my lack of investment into the military. I found the final idea from the Department of Defense packs, the radar station, and the black gold packs continue to lack idea cards, so I turned my attention back to scaling up. I hired a few more dingoes.
Jonathan, Johnny Boy, Jack Jackson, and John. 2 cement, 2 copper bars, 2 iron bars. I got 6 cards too many. Oh, goodness gracious.
One thing I haven't mentioned is that sometimes my solution to having too many cards was to simply put cards into storage containers. Very convenient.
Rumor is spreading around the city. Wait, what? Rumor, eureka. Educating an educated worker while having a city well-being of 50 will create a genius. Hell yeah.
I made a bunch of cement, not for selling this time, but to store in a container, and I increased the board size quite significantly, which prompted me to shuffle all the cards over, which took ages. And on Moon 46, John completed construction of an academy.
Okay, we got the academy up. Oh.
Those little noises of panic were because I realized the academy was gonna need some power and plumbing, but I had some spare utilities over here, so it was sorted immediately.
Should we get an educated John? John, get that education, John, the first in your family to ever go to the academy. I'm so proud of you, John. All your family over here, so proud of you.
I began stocking up on factory parts too, and at the end of Moon 46, my well-being was all the way up to 44, as my cinema had been putting in good work for the last few moons.
Go to temporary hamster wheel. It's the crappiest factory setup ever. And then what do I need for an oil rig? 2 electric motors. Where's my educated John? You can tell John's educated because he's got 2 clipboards and he's got glasses, therefore he's clearly educated.
As an educated man, John was capable of constructing my first oil rig. At the end of Moon, a pack sale popped up, so I sold a bunch of iron bars and purchased an impressive industry pack.
Solar panel? No way.
I had some sunshine handy, so I whacked some plastic on it, and some more renewable energy was on the way. I bought a couple more packs and found the zoo and airport ideas, and also...
I got a dog 2000. I don't have room for a dog 2000. I need to make another house.
I whipped up another apartment, and my solar panel was soon done, which was handy as I immediately used it to rearrange a little, eventually ensuring I had power for the new apartment, and I made a new septic tank to catch the poop too. With that, I had some margin in my housing situation, and the dog 2000 was no longer homeless. I found the ideas for a lab and hospital.
This is getting confusing. We're gonna call John. Gotta become Dr. John. So we know that the doctors are the educated people. Wait. Can I educate my dog? No, I can't educate the dog. That's disappointing.
I had over 50 water by this point, so I sold a bunch, and I began using my janky factory setup to make robot workers out of metal scraps and iron bars.
Alright, we got some robot workers coming in. Reminds me of something.
My robot station allowed for 10 of these fellas, so I made a few straight away.
I'm up to euphoric. The city well-being is popping off.
Yes indeed, it was nice to reach 50 well-being, mainly on the back of good cinema. It was then time for another unimpressive goblin assault. Just one marksman came to be squished by my military, and then I continued working towards oil power production.
Alright, we got Dr. Johnny Boy here. Oh, it doesn't fit. Dr. Johnny, you're no longer a boy, mate, now that you're a doctor.
Dr. John finally got on with the construction of the power plant.
Oil power plant. Generates energy from oil. Does it output? Wait, it outputs 3 heavy fellas? That's like 9 worth. That's crazy.
Yes, indeed. It outputs 3 heavy watt power sources. So once I got the hamster wheel to power up the oil rig, which I connected to the oil power plant, it was operational. I made yet another landfill to handle its pollution.
You go all the way over to this septic tank, because why not?
And since I didn't really need heavy watt power sources at this point, I made 3 energy splitters.
So this one oil power plant, but now we can do 1, 2, 3, connect 5 high voltage connectors, yeah. And then I can have factories going. I can have so many factories going. Question becomes, what do we want to do here? This gets complicated, you know? Holy dooly. Wait, can I name my robot worker? I can. Well, this is definitely got to be Bender.
I named the dog too, and I don't know what the heck I was thinking.
Wolfnut 2000. Why not?
I shoved a couple $100 into City Hall.
Holy dooly, the board is big.
I did some rearranging and then made the board even bigger, and then bigger, and then bigger. It just keeps getting bigger. It's so flaming big. And now I needed to rearrange again, except I couldn't be bothered. The number of educated John characters grew, and I made another oil rig, connected it to a factory, and that meant I had plastic production fully automated, as 2 oil on a factory makes plastic. Once a couple had piled up, I combined it with factory parts and made my first hydroponic farm, which I connected into the farming setup and discovered it produces grain way faster than the farmlands. Since I now had 5 apartments, I was using up 20 food per moon, and I'd noticed my reserve of bread 2000 had slowly been running out, hence the introduction of the hydroponic farm, which needs water to operate, so I made a new water pump to connect in. I placed a new hire named Bogart in there. At the end of Moon 54, a goblin attack was approaching, but based on the tiny goblin incursions I'd suffered so far, I wasn't really worried. So I continued upgrading the food setup, as I worked towards adding a second hydroponic farm and factory.
Oh, okay, we're getting a goblin chopper? I don't think there's any advantages.
In the base game, there are type advantages between various combat units, but in the year 2000, it seemed that was out the window. It was just about brute power.
Oh no.
Wait, what? Why do these guys have 40 health? What the hell, dude? Out of nowhere.
Oh, for goodness sake. I was getting attacked by like nothing before. Suddenly I'm getting attacked by a massive helicopter with 50 health. I think I'm just gonna lose a bunch of happiness because of this. 3 from each. They were sending 1 goblin with 8 health at a time. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm good. Suddenly,
I placed 2 plastic and 2 electric motors onto the barracks to begin making a fighter jet, but it was gonna take a while. Fortunately, once the goblin forces destroyed my meager military, they just sat there. Apparently they weren't interested in killing civilians, but I lost 7 well-being overnight. 9 was lost from the goblins lurking in the city, but 2 was gained back by the old faithful cinema. And I was hoping they'd go away after 1 moon, but they did not.
oh, they're still there? Oh, for goodness sake, man. They didn't go away. I'm gonna lose heaps every day. Okay, so I'll make some art so that can get me a bit of positive well-being.
And I hastily built 3 more barracks, on which I placed 3 iron bars each to make 3 tanks. I was thankful I had some sunshine to offset some of the well-being loss, and my overall well-being was still above 50, so the situation wasn't too dire. Yet. While I was waiting for my military vehicles to craft, I continued working on the farm setup, and I guess there was an update to the game between play sessions because my energy splitters now magically had 4 low voltage outputs instead of 3. I needed more workers though, and I still had room for 5 robots, so I began building those. I lost lost 6 happiness at the end of the moon, but on the plus side, my improved Bread 2000 production line was soon complete, with water and grain constantly being sent to the 2 factories where the bread was baked. I continued popping out robot workers and crafting stuff like metal scraps, and I decided what my next item to automate should be.
Electric motor. Need an electric motor for sure.
I began building more factories in preparation, and soon the fighter jet was finally complete.
Do I need more copper ore? Probably. Let's stop the copper ore going into this container for now. Have it go into this factory instead.
2 copper bars makes an electric motor, so this would get motor production up and running, but it meant I was no longer stockpiling copper bars. And finally, the 3 tanks were ready too, thankfully before the end of Moon 57. And I had housing space for more military, so I got another tank cooking. And then it was time to evict the stinky goblins. My fighter jet had a whopping 60 health, so it seemed like I had the situation under control.
My glorious military. No! We lost a bit more happiness. These goblin choppers are serious, bro. Yeah, gang up on him. Gang up on him. Okay, victory.
My city's well-being had dropped down to 44 over the last few days, but victory was indeed mine.
You got an electric motor, barracks, doctor. Okay, we'll make our radar station.
I checked on my food. It was up to 36 stored in the warehouse, so that was a good sign. And soon that radar station was done. It provided some handy info.
Next conflict will happen at the end of Moon 60. Okay, I got a couple more days.
At the end of Moon 58, it was nice to begin regaining well-being.
Okay, we got 2 electric motors, 2 iron bars. That'll get us a warship, hopefully in time for the next conflict.
It turns out my food setup still needed some work, because I added yet another water pump in there, and that warship soon arrived to keep the fish safe. I next placed 3 electric motors and plastic on to make an attack helicopter. A wildfire tore through the city, but since I had over 100 water piled up, it was rather easy to deal with. Moon 60 soon ended, and another goblin assault was on the horizon.
The last one was pretty serious. Let's hope we're up to the task this time.
It ended up not being as bad as last time, because there were no choppers in sight, and instead I was faced with a bunch of relatively low health enemies, whereas I had bolstered my forces considerably.
We got a serious full-blown warfare going on here. This is outrageous.
The goblins had caught me off guard last time, but I'd learned my lesson.
I think we got Dr. Gobble ready. Dr. Gobble. Greg, you can become a doctor. I'll put a robot worker in there instead. All my dudes are getting educated.
And the robots were being consigned to the grunt work. Ah, the future is here. Except I'd made 10 robot workers now, and I wanted space for more. So I made another station, and I managed to pull together the high voltage power needed by shoving some renewable energy sources into a combiner.
I'm gonna have 10 more robot workers.
Fortunately, I still had excess power from my oil power plant, so I plugged a factory in and placed 10 iron bars and 10 metal scraps on there, and the robot workers began to flow.
2 in there to make this, and then that can go into this, and that'll make plastic. I need another factory. Oh gosh. Oh, we got an attack helicopter, by the way. Hell yeah. Another factory.
And so, toys were automated. 2 plastic in a factory makes 1 toy. I don't know why the heck toys were so important, but I figured I might as well automate them. I turned any sunshine that showed up into solar power, and as I got to work setting up another copper bar operation, Dr. John found something interesting in a crashed UFO.
Wait, quest complete. Collect uranium.
A good find, Dr. John. Well played. I finished getting the new copper bar setup chugging, complete with a new landfill and septic tank to ensure the smelter's pollution was dealt with. And this meant the original copper bar setup was now going straight into storage, and the electric motor setup had its own dedicated copper bar production. Once Geraldine was finished at the academy, I finished the quest to have 6 educated workers, and I decided to investigate ready meals, which are made from 1 grain and 1 plastic.
Okay, we got a ready meal. Microplastic flavored.
This provides a whopping 8 food, but requiring plastic meant it would be a massive mission to get it automated. So I stuck with Bread 2000 for now, which was easily taking care of my food needs anyway. I'd now automated pretty much everything, certainly everything I wanted to automate. So I turned my attention to discovering every card for the Cardopedia by building a bunch of stuff. I first made a transmission tower, which is used to organize cables.
I guess this is a mess. That's fair. But who cares?
So I sold that, and next made an export center. I got it powered up, and this thing is simply a way to automate selling stuff. And since I had well over 100 lumber and water, I decided to connect 1 tree plantation and 2 water pumps to it. And I connected it straight to the credit card. And now I was automatically selling stuff.
You could automate like electric motors and have them automatically selling. That would make crazy money.
But I wanted to hang on to my motors, so $10 a pop for water and lumber would do for now. My next build was a sewerage upgrade.
Okay, so water treatment plant converts sewage into water. You can shove 5 different things into there.
I piped a bunch of stinky stuff into it, but the problem was I really didn't need any more water, and it required a worker, so I didn't really think the 2 extra inputs were worth tying up one of my robot workers' time. I left it operational, but chose to simply use septic tanks otherwise, as they don't need workers. I suffered another goblin attack, but my military proved much too strong once again.
I haven't made a hospital or a stadium or a theme park or a toy shop or a zoo. Holy crap, there's so many different things I can make.
I next added one more luxury apartment to my housing setup because I had plenty of food available along with the necessary electricity and plumbing.
I got power running all over the place because who cares? The septic tanks are a bit more organized because when you're in normal view, it's like faded in the background. It's not that annoying.
And it was finally time to buy an advanced automation pack, which offered up some serious goodies.
Uranium deposit, holy dooly. Nuclear power plant, I need 3 science for that. Oh, that's right, I can make a lab. And then we need 3 doctors, the 3 Gs, Greg, Gerald, and Gobble. Dude, I've actually gone over the card cap. Are you serious?
I threw some money at City Hall to increase the card cap by another 50, though the board didn't grow any further, so apparently I'd hit the max size, and I turned my attention to getting the lab up and running.
It needs 3 educated workers to run. Holy crap. Solar panel can provide 2, and then I've got 1 random bit of energy over here. Boom. So now we've got the lab. It's making science. I think I got a lot of food. Maybe?
Yeah, so much grain and water was piling up that it started making a mess, so I sold a bunch. And of all the stuff I could build, the toy shop sounded the most exciting.
Talk to me about the toy shop, man.
It provides 6 well-being on its first moon available, but it was gonna need some power, and
I think I literally have 0 spare power at the moment.
I disconnected a factory that wasn't being used, so the toy shop fortunately got what it needed. And that meant I earned 10 well-being in one night. 6 for the toy shop, 2 for some merch from a festival, and 2 from the beloved cinema. I bought another pack and found the idea for a recycling center, so I made one immediately.
Removes pollution over time. It removes it faster? Wait, what? It needs high voltage input.
It needed 2 workers as well, which seemed very expensive considering I could just use landfill instead. But when I gave it a test, it got rid of pollution way quicker, and more importantly...
Oh, it produces metals. Oh, I totally just forgot about the point of recycling.
An automatic source of metal scraps was a juicy prospect indeed. But considering I can fairly easily make metal scraps the old-fashioned way, by bashing up an iron bar, I decided the recycling center wasn't worth the power or the workers, so I sold it. I discovered my water storage container had filled up to its maximum 200 cards, and it was overflowing, so that was very exciting. And I bought another advanced automation pack in which I found the idea for an unknown machine.
Needs a lot of charge before we know what it is. Oh dear. This is when we summon some kind of monster. Quantum matter.
I found the particle collider idea, and the quantum matter rumor after that. So things were certainly getting spicy.
2 uranium cards colliding at high speeds should cause some nice sparks. Great. Sounds dangerous.
And with that, I'd found all the new cards from the advanced automation pack. Also, a giant pile of uranium deposits. But I still had a few cards to find between the black, gold, and impressive industry packs. So I began cycling those, but I had no luck. I did find another dog, though.
I think the export center is a little bit slow. Alright, we're making a hospital. This could be a bad idea, actually.
It probably was a bad idea, because I was at my limit power-wise, so I probably should have organized that in advance. The goblins sent a pretty serious crew this time, featuring a big fat warplane. It was in fact so big and fat that it survived the entire moon and caused a hit to my well-being as a result. How rude.
Dr. Homeless? How did you end up on the street with a doctorate under your belt? That's a bit rough.
And it was time to scale up again. I began by hiring a few more workers, and I staffed the hospital.
Does Dog 2000 count as an educated worker? It's not accepting my normal worker, but it's happy with Dog 2000 as an educated worker.
And after a bit of busy work, crafting and building, it was time to name my new crew.
These are the names you expected earlier in the game. Goose, Idiot, Buffhead, Goober.
And a couple of minutes later,
we got a second oil rig set up. Chuck Dingus and Idiot in there, and then chuck that in there. Suddenly, I have a bunch more power, and we get the hospital powered up. Boom.
It's worth noting you can't get rid of these landmark cards, otherwise I would have just sold it. But as it was, this hospital was going to use up a heavy watt power source and 2 workers forever. Otherwise, I'd lose well-being every moon. I took stock of the Cardopedia. I only had 18 cards left to find in the Stacklands 2000 set, and I started work on that by getting the robot soldier card.
That's from the Star Wars for sure, one of those droids.
I next turned some uranium deposits into uranium mines. I made 3 for some reason, but that was definitely overkill, and I collected 2 more uranium from this deposit, which I combined with 3 science science, and 3 iron bars.
Dr. Leroy, Dr. Gerald, and Dr. Greg.
Once those 3 educated workers had put in a good shift, I had my first nuclear power plant, which produces 5 heavy watt power outputs but requires 3 educated workers to run. Now I just needed to automate uranium production, and the first step was to get rid of the 2 extra mines I'd made. I snagged a power output from this water wheel and shoved some workers in there.
Put Goose and Goober in the uranium mine, what could go wrong?
And once the uranium began to flow, I suddenly had 5 more heavy watt outputs to work with. I also had gravel as a byproduct. A pack sale popped up, so I bought some new packs looking for the few remaining undiscovered cards, but I had no luck. I made a gravel filter junction to ensure gravel didn't make a giant mess down here. The grain and water had made a giant mess, so I sold that off, and I now had a good amount of spare power, but I was once again low on workers, so I made 2 more robot stations, which I powered up using the 2 remaining heavy watt outputs of my second oil power plant, and suddenly I had space for 20 more robot workers. At the end of Moon 76, I lost 7 well-being.
Wait, what? This didn't have power? How did that not have power? Oh, and these are just too full of landfill.
I guess I'd accidentally unplugged the hospital, which was an easy fix, and there was indeed way too much pollution for the landfills to handle. If they have more than 10, that's when well-being loss starts to happen. This was because when I'd made my second oil power plant and the nuclear power plant, I'd forgotten to account for the extra pollution they would create. So I added some more landfills to the city, which began to get the pollution under control. I crushed another goblin incursion on Moon 78. I piled a bunch of iron bars and metal scraps onto this factory to begin producing robot workers, and I made yet another landfill just to be safe.
I should really educate some dudes. I can educate a robot worker? Hell yeah. Oh, you know what I need? I need a genius. Dr. Leroy, I think Dr. Leroy, you can become a genius now. It's gonna be a genius.
An educated worker can be turned into a genius if you have more than 50 well-being in your city. My well-being was at 62, so it was Leroy's time to shine. I guess I was worried the goblin attacks were gonna get more fierce, because I turned 3 more robot workers into soldiers. And then I figured something important out.
Power plant only needs 1 educated worker. Does that mean the lab only needs 1 educated worker?
It does indeed, which was great news as this freed up the time of multiple doctors. Upon reflection, it could just be that robots are counted as educated workers, but either way, this was convenient. I next stacked up a bunch of cement, motors, and plastic, and got to work on an airport. It was soon done, and I was outraged by its power demands.
Needs 2?
It needed 2 sewerage outputs too, due to lots of pooping while waiting for a plane, and 2 heavy watt power inputs was indeed an expensive endeavor, but I fortunately still had some spare power available over at the nuclear plant. With that, the airport was good to go, and was set to provide 2 well-being daily, as the citizens do indeed enjoy going on holiday.
Got a genius? We do. We got Dr. Leroy. He's a serious... Whoa, the genius looks absolutely insane. Rumored to have an IQ of 538.
That was a quest done, and the next one was...
Build a particle collider. Stadium's the next thing on the menu. Boom! Stadium.
The stadium required 2 workers, 2 low voltage power inputs, and 2 poopy pipes. The next landmark I made was a theme park, which only required electricity, 1 heavy watt power input, and I chucked a robot into the academy to educate, but it skipped being merely educated.
Oh, I made a robot genius? How did that happen? This is robot genius.
I sent him back into the academy, which appeared to do something, but I don't think it actually did. Also, I made a zoo.
Okay, that's the final landmark. The zoo requires... Yes, just 2 little energy, so good.
That was easy to manage, though I think the power network was a little ridiculous at this point.
City Hall, hospital, toy shop, airport, stadium, theme park, zoo. And then over here we got some other random ones. Art gallery, city park, villager statue, cinema.
That is indeed all of the landmarks in the game.
Let's go for the quest to have 3 pets. Where can you get pets from again?
You can get dogs from the impressive industry pack, so I spent a while buying those, and eventually I found a 3rd dog. Hang on, that's not a dog.
I got a spy? Wait, what? Looks just like a goblin. Yeah. What the hell, dude? I got a goblin spy.
I imagine most spies don't label themselves spy, which probably helps with their spy work. But even though this spy was clearly a spy, I was not able to get rid of him.
Can I do something about the spy, please?
Apparently no. And a goblin attack arrived at the end of Moon, which was a little suspicious.
Is the spy gonna join in the conflict on the wrong side?
I cycled a few more packs, and finally, a canine.
Hey, there we go. We found another dog. Have 3 pets. We'll name this dog 3rd pet. Good. That's a quest done. For what? I have no idea. Defeat the T-Rex. What What are you talking about, bro?
The fight against the goblins was a long one, as it lasted through till the next moon. And the goblin spy actually fought on my side, but he was sadly killed in the melee. What a tragic tale of subterfuge. I checked the Cardopedia again, just 8 more cards to go, and I apparently still had 1 card to find in the black gold and impressive industry packs. So I bought, and then sold, and then bought, and then sold, and about 25 packs later...
There we go, finally got a new card at least. A cat 2000.
And then I remembered I'd unlocked some stuff about quantum matter a while back, but it took me a while to find it in the ideas menu.
Oh, there's the particle collider. It's under the collider. For goodness sakes, right there.
Yeah, it was under the important tab the whole time. I stacked up all the relevant materials.
I need a genius. I'm pretty sure Leroy is my genius. Finally making a particle collider.
But when it was done, I discovered I didn't actually have the spare power available to get it powered up, though I at least had enough workers handy. And considering that not long ago I had tons of spare power, I hadn't been expecting to need to do this, but it was time for another nuclear power plant.
And then we can power it up with 1, 2, 3. Dude, I'm down to 2 workers again.
Yes, indeed. It's crazy how quickly everyone becomes busy. With the particle collider operational, it was time to shove some uranium in there to see if we could make some of them particles collide.
There's a big red button on it that says start. Go on. Go on then. Go on then. The collider created an unstable particle. This resource will dissolve over time. Quantum matter.
I'd complained about running out of workers, but now I realized I probably wasn't going to need any more quantum matter, so I cleared out the particle collider. And apparently that quantum matter would disappear before long, so I quickly assembled what I needed for the unknown machine.
3 factory parts, 3 plastic, 1 quantum matter, 5 science, and a genius unknown machine. Unknown machine? What? Needs a lot of charge before we know what it is. The particle collider will lose me 3 well-being if it doesn't have energy. Who cares for now? I should be producing like 4 or 6 well-being every day, so we should be okay. Which means we can use this nuclear power plant to charge up the unknown machine.
And so the unknown machine received the power it needed, and it slowly began to charge.
Oh, I lost 5 total? I lost 3 from there. I gained 4 from here. I gained 2 from there. Oh, there's a whole bunch of poop? What? Oh, this landfill is not connected. Okay. Alright, at least it's an easy fix. So stupid.
With that sorted, all that was left to do was wait.
What is this going to do, by the way? I should put it over in the corner, because who knows what it's going to do. Is this going to summon the T-Rex? Does it look like a time machine that could fit a T-Rex? I don't think so.
While I was waiting, some goblins got frisky.
Let's watch what happens with this spy. You gonna betray me, bro? No, you're actually fighting for me. You're deep undercover.
And while I was distracted, the unknown machine was finally finished powering up.
Uh-oh, we got a monologue from Dr. Leroy, who's like wrapped up between 40 other dudes. It's time for my latest invention. Even though we've built all this technology, we've made a big mess. And I'm done with it. It's not a mess, it's beautiful. I just want to eat berries again. Oh, here we go. I want to get out of here. See you later. Wait, what? Don't do it, Leroy. Leroy, you almost abandoned me? Wait, what? Takes you back to the past. Okay, so this is just how you get out. That almost just did it automatically before I had all the cards, which would have made me weep bitter tears. I still need 4 more cards.
So Leroy very nearly ruined my day, because if the time machine had gone off, I think I would have exited the Stacklands 2000 DLC world and been taken back to the normal Stacklands world, and that would have lost me my opportunity to find the 4 remaining cards I needed. Leroy may be a genius, but that would have been goose on the loose behavior. Luckily, I'd stopped the mad scientist just in time, and now it was time to cycle black gold packs to find the 1 remaining card that pack had to offer.
Okay. A fossil. Wait, why? Can I put my genius on it? What is the point of the fossil? Wait a minute. Can I put the fossil in the lab or something? This is how we get the T-Rex. This is how we get the T-Rex for sure. It's the Jurassic Park story. Okay, let's go.
And so the fossil card led me straight to the majestic T-Rex.
That fossil, it took me so long to find that fossil. Can I take him on, actually? He's kind of serious. He's got 500 health. I got a big army, but I'm kind of worried. Let's start making new robot soldiers.
Epic combat commenced as my many vehicles and droids teamed up to take on the prehistoric beast.
If he's in the city at the end of Moon, I lose 5 well-being. Oh dear. So far, so good. Oh, we got more robot soldiers. Add them to the fray. Oh, I mean, Aragorn should be a fighter, right? We'll turn Angry Sue into a fighter as well. I'm just kind of mildly worried I'm just going to lose. Yeah, people are dying. Oh gosh.
I continued reinforcing my army, which meant the T-Rex simply had too many targets to choose from, and by sheer force of numbers it seemed I was destined for victory, as his massive health pool finally fell below 50%.
I think I can win this. Yeah, we got this. We got this, Mr. T-Rex. He's definitely killed a few units.
The fight had now spanned over 2 moons at this point, which I think officially makes it an epic battle.
We got him. Well done, team. Yeah, I was not expecting a T-Rex as the final boss of the DLC. But that's what you get when you experiment with a fossil.
And so the Tyrannosaurus Rex was laid low, and a coincidental festival arrived. We shall call it the Festival of the T-Rex.
We did it. We defeated the T-Rex.
With that fossil find, I'd finally discovered every new card available from the packs. And of course, the quest to defeat the T-Rex was done. I wasn't expecting this follow-up quest.
Have 3 aliens. Huh? Oh, you must have a chance to find aliens from UFOs? Is that right?
I haven't got any aliens, man. There was also one building card I was missing, and I had no idea what it could be, so trusty Google helped me out. I needed to combine 3 shacks to make some slums.
1 card to go, and I'm pretty sure it's an alien. Oh, I've heard a secret. 1, 2... I think I can make aliens.
When I say I heard a secret, I meant I read one. Again, Google helped me out.
There's the final card! That's a handsome looking alien.
I'd initially thought I'd have to wait for UFO crashes and then hope for an alien to pop out of one of those, which sounded like a massive grind. So I'm relieved I learned of this reliable alien producing method. I do, after all, love lab-made aliens. Delicious.
Have 10 robot workers, but no regular workers.
Upon finding an alien card, I'd completed the Cardopedia, so I could have called it a day because that was technically 100%. But I wanted to do all of the quests too. But this final quest was kind of tricky. I had about 48 human workers in my workforce, and they were the backbone of the city.
This is gonna put my whole city into shambles though, if I get rid of all my regular workers.
But I was pretty much finished with the run, so why not have the city crash and burn while I desperately tried to complete the final quest? The only way I could think of to get rid of my human workers was to turn them into soldiers, so I made some extra barracks, took all the humans away from their jobs, and shoved them into boot camp. I managed to get most of them trained up into soldiers before the end of Moon 93, but when the moon eventually ended, obviously much of the city's infrastructure was now out of commission due to the lack of workers. So this happened.
I'm gonna lose a lot of happiness. Oh dude, I lost like so much happiness. I lost 64 happiness. Oh gosh. I have to get this done today.
My happiness had fallen from 95 all the way down to 31 in one day, mainly because most of the military were homeless due to their apartments no longer having power. One more moon and my well-being would go below 0, and the city would be lost. The problem is, I thought I'd already gotten rid of all the human workers, and yet I didn't have the quest complete yet.
I mean, surely Wolfknight doesn't count. How am I supposed to get rid of him? Wait, I need to make sure I've got the Cardopedia done, right? The Cardopedia is officially done. Oh, I got Sooty. I forgot about Sooty. That should be it, right?
I'd finally found Sneaky Sooty. Into training he went, and soon became a soldier.
There we go. We got the quest just in time. Well, I still had like 2/3 of the day, but I was definitely about to lose. Have 10 robot workers, but no regular workers, because literally all my regular workers are now soldiers. Well, we are done.
I then realized my genius, Dr. Leroy, was still here. I guess he didn't count as a regular worker since he's such a smart guy. But I figured there was only one thing to do to finish the run. I attempted to use the time machine.
How is that not powered up? Oh, we need people in here? Where's the robot genius? Here he is. You get in there. Okay, it's powered up. Go, Leroy, before the end of the day.
Oh no! It's gone below 0.
This city is lost.
No, he was just about to escape to the past.
Well, how about that? We're back in the past anyway. Oh dear. I believe escaping to the past would have literally just taken me back to this world anyway, so it had exactly the same effect, but it's a little bit of a fail that Leroy, you were just too slow, you idiot. Challenge complete. I can't believe there's a T-Rex involved. How the hell did that happen? All the structures, villages, resources, ideas, food, mobs, rumors, weather, disasters, events, landmarks. 191 out of 191 cards found. And that makes 100% of Stacklands 2000 complete. It is a great DLC, by the way. Cheers!